The Drabin Traditional Council is refuting claims that it forced some assembly members to kneel and beg the Omanhene for going ahead to hold a news conference without the permission of the chief. This was after the assembly members held a news conference last Friday to express their misgivings about processes leading to the confirmation of the president's MCE nominee for Drabin Municipal Assembly. The said press conference is believed to have incensed the Omanhene of the area, who had already met and spoken with the organizers and the president's MCE nominee to resolve grievances between them. Following the news conference, the 8 assembly members were invited to the chief's palace to apologize for disrespecting the chief. Pictures of the assembly members on their knees have since gone viral with several narratives. A statement issued by the Drabin Traditional Council has since sought to set the record straight on what transpired at the Omanhene's palace. The registrar, Drabin Traditional Council, Kweku Akoma Asari, joins us on Zoom with some more on this. Many thanks for your time, sir. All right, so apparently we do not have him at the moment, but the presiding assembly member, some of the assembly members tell Joy News they are under pressure to confirm the president's nominee. Emmanuel Gallo was among the 8 members who knelt to beg the Omanhene. He joins us on the phone with their side of the story. Hello, Emmanuel. So who is putting pressure on you to confirm the nominee and why? All right, it appears we do not have Emmanuel as well, but we will work the phone lines and try and raise them again and get to hear from both sides, from those assembly members who believe that they are under pressure to confirm the president's nominee, as well as the Drabin Municipal Assembly and what they have to say. So it appears we can go to the Drabin Municipal Assembly now. Good morning to you, and thank you for your time. Hello, good morning to you, and thank you for thank you for making time to speak with us. So you're saying that it's not true, the stories that are making the round so far about why the assembly members were kneeling has been misconstrued. So you tell us, what's the story?
As is contained in the press release, there's no iota of truth in the fact that assembly members were made to kneel before the Omanhene for voting against the nominee of the president after they went to vote to confirm him. The true state of the issue is that on the 14th of October, around 3 p.m., the presiding member of the Municipal Assembly, in the person of Joseph Asari, in the company of 3 other honorable members, came to my office as the registrar of the Traditional Council, seeking to have an audience with the Omanhene. As much as that their appointment had not been confirmed, I informed the Omanhene of their presence, and he decided to meet them. At the meeting, they had come to plead with the Omanhene to, as a matter of fact, call the assembly members together with the nominee and supporters of the nominee. They wanted the Omanhene to advise them and settle the impasses that had come up after they had failed to confirm the nominee the very first time he was nominated. True to the Omanhene's effort of maintaining peace and ensuring that development takes place in Drabin, he scheduled a meeting at the behest of the presiding member for Tuesday, 19th October. And at the said meeting, the assembly members were given the opportunity to voice out all their grievances. And after all of them, whoever had wanted to speak was given the opportunity to talk. After they had voiced out their grievances, the nominee was given the opportunity to also state the side of the issues that had been raised. At that point, he came in, that is the nominee, came in to inform the assembly members and Ananum that most of the issues or some of the issues raised were true, and that he is not there to explain himself, but he's pleading for their forgiveness. He's begging them to go and vote for him and confirm him. At that point, Nananom came in, and due to the plea of mercy from the nominee, Nananom settled all the differences that came up, all the issues that were raised. And the assembly members accepted the plea. After that, they all shared handshakes and requested to have a monumental picture with the Omanhene, which he granted them. After that, the Omanhene traveled to Accra to go about his duties. And on Friday, Friday, 29th October, that's just this Friday, they came to vote. And around midday, the Omanhene, who was returning from Kumasi, heard on radio that they had organized a press conference stating that they were not going to vote again. The Omanhene was a bit surprised about the turn of events, because when they came to meet him, they had requested that whatever that will come out of the issue again, they would fall back on the Omanhene. So he was surprised that if anything had come up again, they would have consulted him first than to hear the issue on air. So when he got to Jaben, he called for the assembly members to meet him. At that point, he pointed out to them that they should have come back to him as they had promised, rather than first going to the press to state their issues. At that point, and realizing that they had erred, they sought the intervention of the Omanhene of the Traditional Council to plead on their behalf. And it was at that point that they conferred with the Omanhene, and they decided to kneel down as a sign of remorse before the Omanhene. So the Omanhene did not compel anybody to kneel down. When they realized that they had erred and sought the intervention of the Omanhene, and he had a tete-a-tete with them, and they decided to kneel, all of them, to a man. Not even one person exempted himself. They knelt, and they were not even down for up to 1 minute. And the Omanhene asked them to just get up and state, tell him why they.
All right, Kwekwasari, I'd actually want you to hold on for us a bit, because we have Emmanuel Gallo. Kwekwasari, I want you to hold on. We have Emmanuel Gallo, who's supposed to be one of the 8 members who knelt to beg the Omanhene. So he was there. Emmanuel Gallo, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so we've heard what transpired as far as Kwekwasari is concerned. So what got you to kneel, as we've seen in the photos that have gone around?
Okay, good morning to your listeners and viewers. It's very true that on that day, all what Kweku said, is true. When we got to the Gabi in the morning, we had wanted to go and do 2 separate meetings. We were to do 2 separate meetings. One is approving of the budget. Then in the afternoon, we do what we call confirmation of the president's nominee. Confirmation of the president's nominee. Whilst we've not even started with the morning's meeting, then we saw 4 armored cars, fully armed militiamen, 2 cars with policemen. So we asked ourselves what is actually going to happen. If indeed the meeting is 2 o'clock and as early as 9:30 to 10 this is happening, then it means we are not safe. So we decided to let the whole world know what we are going through. So we quickly called for the press conference, which at the press conference, Nana himself came there to let us understand that no, he is not too comfortable with what we are doing, so we should stop. And he asked me, Honorable Gallo, yourself and Ajari, lead the people and bring them to my palace, which we respectfully did. We got there, and Nana was not happy. So he was even standing while talking to us. Then we said, Nana, we are sorry for that. So, when you go to the palace, eventually you cannot just go and talk straightforward. You must get somebody who will be leading you. So we seek the support of Nana Omanhene, who is the immediate past presiding member of the assembly. He was a government appointee and also a presiding member. So he is a brother, a father, everything to us. So we spoke with him and he led us to plead with Nana that we are sorry. When we came back, we were told to kneel. Honestly, there were so many things around. So to be honest with you, hearing the voice of the particular chief who said we should kneel, I cannot bear witness to that. But we kneeled for like 5 minutes. Then we were asked to stand. When we stand, Nana said, okay, now if indeed you have accepted it that you've erred, I have also forgiven you. But go back and vote now so that the issue rests and everybody gets his peace. Then the members were not too happy. So again, we went out with the Omanhene and we came back and said to Nana, members are not too comfortable. Angus, the temper is not good for the situation. So we plead with you that, please, if we could postpone the meeting. He said, no, go and do the voting to show respect to me. So Nana asked, how many of you will want to vote today? Those who want the voting to take place, will come and stand at my right. With 8 of us, including myself, went and stood there. We were 4 elected and 4 appointees. So that is what happened. And the 18 said they are not ready to vote. So Nana said, if you people are bold to tell me this, then leave my palace. Then we all left the palace. Later did I got to know that 6 of the people who said we should vote today, that is 2 out of the 6, out of the 8 followed the suit and went out. So they were left with 6 in the palace. And later they also left and the nominee decided to change 4 of the appointees who have joined suit with the elected members and have wanted to do the election, but it could not come on. So there wasn't anything election on the day for people to say that indeed there are some people who voted no, that is why we are kneeling. We did not kneel because we voted no.
All right. So from what you've told us, I get the understanding that you didn't kneel, or there was a part of some kneeling where you were pleading, but there was some kneeling for 5 minutes because a chief asked you to kneel.
Yes.
All right. So at least there was and you were not happy.
Asked us to kneel and not the assembly. I did not hear the voice of the assembly.
All right.
But to be honest, I heard, if indeed you have agreed that you've heard, kneel.
And you said
so
that you're saying that kneeling lasted 5 minutes.
Yes, like 5 minutes.
All right. Mr. Sari, so you've heard what Emmanuel Gallo has had to say. There was some kneeling. They were compelled to kneel for about 5 minutes, even though he's saying that he can't tell who exactly asked them to kneel, not that the chief himself. Hello, Mr. Sari. Quick, Sari. All right, we seem not to have him immediately, but I believe that's where the story ends, because now we've heard from the 2 sides, and the assembly members who were made to kneel are explaining that yes, they knelt, but it was because they had been asked to kneel. I have it looks like we have Kukwesari back on the line now. Hello, Kukwesari.
Yes, sir. I went off.
All right, yes. So we've heard from the Emmanuel Gallo, who's one of the 8 members who was seen in the photo kneeling. He said that virtually all the things you said is true, apart from the fact that the kneeling, there was a part where they were made to kneel for about 5 minutes.
He said 5 minutes?
Yes.
No, please.
Well,
no,
he's on the line. He says that they were asked to kneel for 5 minutes.
No, please. For 5 minutes, no. It's not, there's no iota of truth in that. And like I stated earlier on, it wasn't the Omanhene who compelled them to kneel down.
Well, he's indicated that. He's made that quite clear. He says it wasn't the Omanhene. He didn't hear the voice of the Omanhene, but one of the chiefs asked them to kneel down. And
exactly,
they went
like
down.
I said, it's the chief who they asked to intervene on their behalf. Who, yes, you know, in Ghanaian settings and Akan culture and custom, when you are remorseful, you kneel before your elders to show that sign of remorse. So when the Omanhene, who they had asked to intervene on their behalf, pointed out to them that if they are indeed remorseful, then they should kneel to show it. Then, like I said, all of them to a man knelt before the Omanhene to plead for forgiveness. So it's not true that they were compelled.
Noted. But what do you make of what he's saying, that the Omanhene was putting pressure on them to go vote?
The Omanhene never compelled anybody to go and vote. Like I stated earlier on, at the meeting on 19th October, before 19th, the presiding member and 3 other members had come to the Omanhene.
Okay, let's hear Mr. Gallo.
Because I'm just about going to vote. So let me come in quickly. I have not said that Omanhene compelled us to go and vote. I said Omanhene asked that how many of you will be happy to vote today, will want to vote today. And 8 of us went to his right answer, and 18 said they are not ready. This is what I said, please.
All right, but you also indicated that he told you to go and vote.
He said no. No, he said that 8, how many of you want to vote? And 8 of us stood in his right hand saying that
Emmanuel Gallo, I heard you very clearly, and we can play it back. There was a point where you said that you had been asked to go and vote.
No, well, if that is what we are saying, to me, maybe it is a slip of tongue, but I am taking this opportunity to correct it. That Omanhene said that the people who want to vote today should stand at the right side, and it is only 8, which I am proud of, who went to the right hand side, and 18 said no. So we were asked to leave the palace, and we all left. Then later on, that I got to know that 6 of the 8 were standing there, and they were asked to go to the court premises. This is what I said, and I said at that place, 4 of the appointees were changed. But my brother, sorry, I am just entering into the election hall, so if we could talk later.
All right. All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel Gallo. Emmanuel Gallo is one of the assembly members that you can see in the photo there. That's been going around. They were seen kneeling at the Omanhene's palace. And thank you to Kweku Asare for bringing clarity to this issue for us. Thank you. Now, we have Dr. Eric Udrosan, who's a local governance expert, and he's joining us with some thoughts on this. Good morning to you, Doctor, and thanks for your time. So, what do you make of all that's going on? There seems to be some compulsion, but the assembly member is also saying that, okay, well, not quite. They see the armored vehicles brought to the scene, and they felt that, yes, there was some pressure being put on them to vote. What do you make of all of that?
Thank you very much. I think we live in a country of rule of law, and then we should also appreciate that under Article 11 of our Constitution, customary laws and then common law are recognized. So if the assembly members sought to listen to the traditional authorities, it's part of the governance process. However, if the right to vote of assembly members are infringed upon, they have every right to go to court. I am always surprised about people who run to the media for the media to come to their defense if their rights are being trampled upon. If they genuinely think they have a case, they should just go to court and provide the evidence in court that their rights have been trampled upon. But from the way he's explained the thing, it seems to me that they respected the customary laws of the land as provided for under Article 11 of our Constitution. And he's now trying to run away from the fact that their rights. When it comes to law, we should be very careful because under our democracy, the rule of law is what we're working with.
But we've seen, this is not the first time we've seen this happening in this particular confirmation of MMDCs. It's something that's quite rife. And a lot of people have spoken about it. I don't know what you make of the way this becomes, it's increasingly becoming the main thing that's happening or typical of the confirmation of MMDCs.
I think it's happening because they are not exercising their right. I am not in favor of people who make noise without testing the laws. If it happens in one assembly, two assemblies, three assemblies, what they need to do is to go to court. If they strongly believe that their rights have been infringed upon. So, yes, I have not witnessed it in any assembly. So I'm in a very difficult position to draw conclusions. But my simple advice is that if it happens and the assembly members genuinely believe that their right to represent their electoral areas, their right to exercise their votes, their right to approve an MMDCE have been infringed upon or impaired illegally, the right forum is to go to court. So I'm challenging all such individuals to go to court to test the laws. And that is the only way by which this can stop if it is happening in any way.
You know, we keep on saying that go to court, but we've also been informed that going to court is not that easy.
Oh, it is easy. We have the legal aid board across the country. And it is not very expensive, I must say, to go to court. It will depend on the case, because in cases of human rights abuse, we have SHRAJ there. We also have the legal aid board there. So I can tell you confidently that if they want to go to court to protect their right to represent, which advances the cause of democracy in this country, they'll be able to get some of the human rights lawyers to represent them on pro bono basis.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Odro Asai, who's a local governance expert there. You're watching News Desk here on the Joy News channel.